Benny and the Pebble that sang. The evening breeze rustled softly through the reeds as Benny wandered along the sleepy riverbank. Fireflies blinked like little lanterns, and the water shimmered with hints of starlight. Benny liked to collect smooth pebbles when the moon was full. They always felt a little more special. Tonight he found one unlike any other. It was small and round with a swirl of silver through its centre, as if it had captured a piece of the moon. He held it in his paw. It felt warm, not from the sun, but from something deeper, something kind. Benny sat by the water's edge, pebble in paw, and closed his eyes. Then the pebble began to hum. Not loudly, just a gentle few notes, like a memory you almost forgot. A low, velvety tune that felt like it had always been there, waiting. The hum rose and fell like waves, like breathing. Around him the reeds swayed in time. The river glowed a little more golden. A dragonfly hovered and dipped, as if dancing to the tune. Benny rested back on the moss, holding the singing pebble to his chest. The melody told him stories of sleepy otters in distant streams, of moonlight echoing in quiet caves, of laughter caught between the ripples. His eyes fluttered. The pebble's song slowed, growing softer and sleepier. A lullaby without words, just feeling. Benny sighed. The pebble glowed once more, then faded, its job done. He placed it gently by the river's edge. "Thank you," he whispered, curling up beneath a willow. The breeze picked up the tune and carried it down the stream, and Benny drifted off to sleep with the song still playing in his dreams. The end. Benny and the Nighttime Library. Tucked between two sleepy hills, past a yawning stream and a path lit only by moonbeams, Benny found something unexpected. A door. Not a big one, not fancy, just a little wooden door in the side of a hill with a brass handle shaped like a sleepy owl. A sign above read, "The Nighttime Library. Open from dusk to dream." Benny, of course, knocked politely. The door creaked open all by itself, and Benny stepped into a soft, velvety silence. Inside was a warm, round room filled with shelves carved from tree trunks and glowing gently with lantern light. Books floated lazily in the air, pages fluttering like moth wings. "Hello?" Benny whispered. From behind a curtain of cobwebbed stories, a tiny mole in half-moon glasses poked his head out. "You're just in time for the hush hour," he smiled. "Would you like a tale?" Benny nodded. The mole handed him a book that smelt of pine and old bedtime songs. Benny curled into a reading nook made from a pile of patchwork quilts. The book didn't have words, just pictures that moved like dreams caught on paper. As he turned each page, the room around him changed. One page smelt like rain on wildflowers, another like distant waves. One glowed like candlelight behind curtains. The book grew warmer in his lap. and soon the edges of the pages blurred into the beginnings of sleep. The final picture was of a bear in a little nook, holding a book that looked very familiar. Benny smiled and closed his eyes. Somewhere nearby, the mole dimmed the lanterns and quietly whispered, "Return the book when you wake." And Benny drifted off, wrapped in paper dreams and the smell of stories. The end. Benny and the Sleepy Pebble Path. One evening, just after the stars began to stretch and yawn across the sky, Benny stepped out of his cloud cottage and noticed something new. A line of smooth, glowing pebbles had appeared, leading away from his doorstep. They shimmered softly, like moonlight had kissed each one goodnight. Naturally, Benny followed. Each step made a gentle sound. Click, clack, tinkle, tap. Not loud, just the kind of music the night makes when it's feeling thoughtful. As Benny walked, the air changed. The breeze carried the scent of mint leaves and freshly washed blankets. Fireflies hovered like tiny lanterns. A frog in pajamas gave him a slow nod from atop a mossy log. Then Benny noticed something else. Each pebble he stepped on whispered a memory. One murmured, "That time you danced in the rain." Another sighed, "When you found that heart-shaped stone." One giggled, "The hiccup fit at the picnic." They weren't loud, these whispers, just soft, safe feelings that wrapped around Benny like his favourite blanket. At the end of the path, the pebbles circled a tiny pool. In the water, Benny saw his reflection, but sleepy, smiling, and already halfway into a dream. He curled up beside the pool, the whispering pebbles still humming gently behind him. And the night held its breath, so Benny's dreams could begin. The end. Benny and the Moonlight Mailbox. Benny was dusting the windowsill of his cloud cottage when he spotted something peculiar at the edge of the hill. A little silver mailbox that hadn't been there before. It shimmered softly, as if it had been carved from starlight and tucked gently into the earth. Curious, Benny padded over, his paws making soft thuds on the sleepy grass. The lid of the mailbox creaked open with a sigh, and inside sat a single envelope, addressed in curly blue ink. To Benny, from the night. He opened it carefully. Inside was a note that read, "Tonight, the stars are sending thoughts. Would you like to write one back?" Benny blinked, then smiled. Inside the mailbox, as if by magic, appeared a little sheet of sky paper and a quill made from a raven's dream feather. He sat down on a toadstool and thought, what would he say to the stars? He wrote, "Thank you for lighting up the dark. Thank you for keeping watch while we sleep. And thank you for always, always twinkling." He placed the note back into the mailbox. The lid closed gently, and just like that, the whole thing vanished into a soft puff of mist. Above, a few stars sparkled a little brighter, and just as Benny turned to head home, a shooting star danced across the sky, as if winking a reply. That night, Benny fell asleep with ink on his paw and a smile on his face. The end. Benny and the Blanket of Fireflies. It was one of those warm, still nights in the middle of summer. The kind where the air feels like velvet and even the breeze seems to be whispering. Shh. Benny had wandered out beyond the whispering meadow, his teddy tucked under one arm and a sleepy yawn playing at the corner of his mouth. He stopped beneath a willow tree whose branches dipped like they were heavy with dreams. Just as he sat down, a soft golden light began to flicker all around him. Fireflies. Dozens of them. No, hundreds. They didn't buzz or dart or flash like they usually did. Tonight they glowed steady and slow, floating down like sleepy stars. One by one they landed gently on Benny's fur, on his shoulders, his ears, the tip of his nose, until they formed a glowing quilt of golden light. Benny didn't move, he just breathed. The fireflies made a blanket, not heavy, not warm, just the right kind of cozy. They pulsed gently with each breath, as though they were breathing with him. And then, something strange happened. As Benny closed his eyes, he began to hear soft sounds, whispers, lullabies, and tiny dream songs woven into the quiet night. It was like the fireflies were singing him to sleep in a language only dreams understood. And when Benny drifted off, the blanket lifted just slightly, carrying him up ever so gently into the willow branches above. There he rocked, suspended in dreams, swaddled in light. The end.